Hey guys, it's Amanda here. Um, for today's video, I wanted to talk about mental illness and its effects on parenting or your choices when you're, deciding certain things about your child or children. Just how that affects, like, your choices and your decision-making process. Well, at least mine anyway. Not yours, but I meant like in general, like parents, or guardians or whoever's taking care of these children. If you have any sort of mental illness, um, so for me, I think I'm trying to keep this steady. I think definitely when I'm very, very severely depressed, that my choices about my son, I probably aren't that great, but at the time I'm so depressed that I don't care. And that, and it sounds kind of mean, like, oh my God, you don't care, like you're a mom, but when you're that depressed, I mean, so depressed that you can't get out of bed, you just have no will to do anything, you really don't care. You just really don't. It's not just about the decisions you make with your children, but just any decision you make, just to get up and out of bed to shower. I mean, you're like, I don't have the energy and I don't care. I mean, I'm dirty, whatever. Because most likely you're not leaving your apartment or your house or wherever it is that you're living. So it's not really going to matter. But I don't know. I find that I kind of shuffle the responsibility to somebody else if I am that depressed. If, depending on how depressed I am. I mean, there are times when I get kind of down, but it's not really like a full-on episode of depression. It's just, everyone gets like that. They get kind of down. They're not that happy. You go through lull kind of moods. And in those mind states, I don't always make, like, I guess, the best decision I could make regarding whatever the issue is. I'm trying to think of an example. I guess, like, okay, since where I live, there's a lot of eyes and ears everywhere. So if I wasn't feeling all that great and my son said, oh, can I just go outside and ride my bike? I'd probably say, yeah, whatever, go, I'll be out in a few minutes, And that sounds like, okay, you'll be out in a few minutes, whatever. But where I live, that's not always the best choice to make because people here, as I've mentioned before, complain a lot. So if they see you doing anything that they don't approve of, then, you could, they'll just do whatever. But, the decision that I made to do that, normally I'd say, no, you have to wait until I'm ready to go out and we can go out together. Like, that's my rule. You can't go outside without an adult. And when I'm in a state where I'm thinking clearly and I know whether I want to let him go outside by himself for just a few minutes or not, I don't let that happen because it's my choice. It's my choice to make sure he's as safe as possible and that there's as less drama and chaos as possible. But if I'm depressed, severely depressed, I probably wouldn't care. Or I'd say, no, I don't want you to go out. I don't want to go out, so you can't go out. Which kind of isn't fair because he's a kid, he should be able to go out and play, that kind of thing. But I don't have the energy. I don't have what it takes to do what he wants to do. So in that kind of sense, sometimes my illness can take over, like, the thought process, my decision-making process of how I come to decisions and stuff like that. Not necessarily that it's a bad thing, or my decisions are bad, but they are affected in terms of what I decide or what I don't decide. And it's also on the other side of the spectrum when I'm either hypomanic or manic or what have you. I might be overly excited about stuff and overly enthusiastic. I'm like, oh yeah, God, and I'm not even thinking, I mean, I'm just so excited. I just want to enjoy stuff and just go with the flow and, that kind of thing. And of course I'm basing this all off of because of where I live and that kind of thing. So, of course, there's other factors that go into your decision-making process. But when you're in a mindset or a mood or whatever it is based on your own illness or illnesses, I think it can definitely affect the way that you kind of think about things and decide things. Yeah. And also, with mental illness, a lot of times people have substance issues to go with that. And I think that can definitely have an effect on things that you decide. And sometimes you don't realize, this choice that you made. It might not seem like a big deal at the time, but then when something happens because of the decision that you made, sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. And I think in the times that you realize, oh my God, my decision had this effect, maybe I should rethink things. I think that's when you have a better awareness of yourself. And I think that's when you can really start to kind of sort of take hold of your illness and say, you're not going to control me. I make the decisions, not you. You know what I mean? So for all those out there, who have kids or you're raising kids or whatever situation you're in with kids, not every decision you make is bad. It's not, and not every decision you make is wrong, but I think it's good to kind of look at the choices that you're making and really think about the effects that could happen. Sometimes it's unforeseen, sometimes it's not. But really, think about it, so like, okay, if I make this choice, what are the possible effects that could come from that, good or bad? Because having bipolar, I have impulse control issues, so sometimes it's inside. I can't control how I feel, and I can't control it. I try really, really hard, but it just doesn't always happen for me, But I recognize that, and I think recognizing certain things that are within your control, without your control, and just your decisions when it comes to your parenting and stuff like that, I think being aware of how you parent and the decisions that you make, if you keep track of that, you can make better decisions based off of your experiences and what you know for yourself, So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to talk about, that mental illness can have an effect on, and not just parenting, but just decisions anywhere. But I kind of focus this on parenting, because I do have a child and I have made decisions that probably weren't the best at the time, but either I was in severe pain from when I had my back surgeries, or, I've been depressed or this or that and everything else. And, sometimes you just can't handle something. So you kind of like, oh, whatever, just go away. Or, you know what I mean? And it might not always be the best decision at the time. And you might not even be thinking about it. But it's just good to kind of have it up here. You don't have to always be thinking about it. But just when you make certain decisions, especially if you're in, like if you have bipolar and you're up or you're down or you're all over the place, try and think of, you might even sit there and say, I know this is the best decision, but I want to do this instead. And then just kind of think about it and realize where you are, and how you're making those decisions. Alright, well, I'm going to go now. I actually have, oh, yeah, I kind of made it under the bell. So, yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to go, because I have to go pay my rent. It's late. But I had issues with my car, so, what are you going to do? Alright, well, I'm going to go, and I will talk to you guys later. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!